Good morning. Welcome to today's session. I am your host today, and with me today is.
Hwande is quiet.
And if you've not forgotten my name, I still remain my humble self, Ozobulu. And today we'll be discussing on the topic petty offences and the need for its decriminalization. Vice Hwande, you're welcome to join us today. And please, can you help us define what petty offences is? Can you help us understand what petty offences mean?
Yes, thank you, Santo. Petty offenses generally are offenses that are classified as insignificant, very minor or minute. They are not felonies, they are not misdemeanors.
Okay, from your definition, that means any offense that is not classified under felonies, they are not classified under misdemeanor, but can be referred to as simple offenses. Those
Yes,
are petty offenses. Okay, can we have examples of offenses that you can classify as petty offenses?
Yes, we have so many of them. One that our criminal laws, have criminalized them as being offenses, but they are minor. Are one, being idle is a petty offense. Being a vagabond, vagabonds are petty offenses. Being disrespectful or disobedience to your parents is an offense classified as petty offense. Hawking is also a petty offense. In fact, in some states, even trading or marketing on a pedestrian is an offense, petty offense. So there are so many of them.
Okay, if I understand you very well, examples: hawking, idleness, vagabond, disrespect to parents,
But the third is disobedience to parents.
disobedience to parents.
Yes.
Seriously, how did these offences make their way to our criminal justice system? But all the same, let's move on. From these offences that you listed, hawking, for me, I can say that the most affected are the vulnerable people,
Yes,
the poor people. So, what is your view on that?
Actually, the petty offenses, like I said, they are very, very minor offenses. And to me, I think those offenses are targeted at a group of persons. Those group of persons are the most vulnerable people, the poor. Because you can never see a rich man or a big man just wandering, which wandering is also one of the offenses. So basically, they are targeted at vulnerable people or vulnerable groups.
Okay, if I get you, they're targeted as vulnerable people.
Yes.
Can you help us understand what vulnerable people means? Because when you say vulnerable person, a whole lot of things can come to mind. So if you can help us to define who a vulnerable person is, so it will help our discussion and help our viewers to understand.
Yes, thank you, Santo. The vulnerable people to me is the sect or group of people that are most marginalized in the society and even our criminal justice system because of their status.
Okay. Okay, status. You mean both economical and
Economically,
social
status and all that.
Okay, these are the persons that can be classified under. I was reading one day and I discovered, and it came to my mind that prostitution itself is equally a petty offense. A petty offense. Am I wrong? Or
You are right, but prostitution is also one of the petty offenses. Like I mentioned earlier on, you can't mention all of them. They are too numerous to mention. So prostitution is also one among the petty offenses that are there in our penal laws, both the federal and the states that have their criminal laws in place.
okay, you said our penal laws. Does that mean that it is not in the criminal laws too?
I mean, penal laws meaning in the north that is penal, while down there is criminal. But generally, as a whole, in our criminal laws, we have them there.
Okay, that
General
means
laws.
Because okay, I want to find out these petty offenses that you've listed in the laws. Are there any ingredients to that offense? Because okay, in school, I came to understand that every offense must have an ingredient that will help to prove the fact that that offense has been committed.
Yes.
And those ingredients can be classified into actus reus or mens rea. So help me understand these petty offenses. Do they have ingredients according to the provisions of the law?
Yes. Thank you so much for that question. Generally, in proving a criminal case against an accused person, the law requires two things to be in place. Two key things. One, the actus reus and the mens rea. So, in all these petty offences that are enshrined in our criminal laws, personally, I have done a research on where I can find the ingredients. That is, those components, those things that can put together to say that yes, somebody has committed this offense. I have never seen one in these petty offenses I have enumerated here earlier on. Because you look at prostitution is just there. And then, how can you say somebody has been caught and you can, based on that, say there is a prima facie case warranting any competent court of law to convict the person and sentence the person to either fine or imprisonment for whatever months or years the law may have prescribed? There's none. Like wondering, there's nothing like this is what is there.
Okay, that means once you're walking on the street and you cannot give an account of yourself,
then you'll be arrested by the security agencies. So there is no ingredients prescribed by those criminal laws criminalizing the petty offences for the prosecuting side to hold under, and definitely the accused person also having a lawyer to defend him or her in courts of law to hinge on to say no, the prosecution has failed in proving the mandatory components or ingredients of that offence, because ingredients are very key. They are very key in the sense that in criminal justice system or in criminal justice administration, whenever either both at the court holding charge and at the court where the charges are preferred, the charge must support the head of the charge. If the charge, the body of the charge, the camp charges do not support that, then it's lacking.
Okay.
And then
from what you said now, it just brought something to my mind. And I remember a day in court that the prosecution, somebody was brought to court for the first time, and then the FIR against the person was read to the person. And the magistrate himself was confused because he didn't know whether there's any law that forbids that kind of act. They have to read the contents of the FIR, and then you have to go back. You have to tell the police officer in charge to go and bring the laws that provided that kind of thing is an offense. And it was so alarming. So we have that kind of things, that we have so many kind of laws that target some certain kind of person, and even the law upholding agents, they don't even know about this law.
I agree with you. And to say further, petty offences, if you go through the laws, criminal laws that we provide or criminalize these offences, you will discover that they are meaningless. These offences are meaningless. They don't have value.
But they are in our laws.
But they are in our laws.
Okay, from what you're saying, I get two things from what you're saying. I'll state those two things, then we'll start from one angle.
Yes.
Those two things are: one, I get that petty offences make it seem like poverty is a crime. That is one. And then two, it makes it it gives the law enforcement agencies room, like an open check, to arrest people any way they want. Because I can be a police officer and then I'll be walking on the road and see somebody, you're a vagabond, where are you going to? All these things, and then I will arrest you and take you to the station. So from these two angles, let's start from the angle of poverty being a crime, because from what I can see, hawking, begging, all those things being a crime. That means poverty is criminalized in our justice system.
Um, I don't think so. I have never seen poverty in any of our criminal laws saying poverty is a crime.
Expressly, but
Expressly
impliedly.
or impliedly, like you rightly said, petty offences. If you ask my own position, I say petty offences are discriminatory offences. Those laws are there targeting at a particular person. That group of persons that without fault of theirs, then we are making laws to make them suffer. Because you will come to understand that in the end, if a poor person is later found guilty, and let me diverse a little, digress a
No
little.
problem, you can go on.
Petty offences are generally tried summarily.
Wow.
Yes, they are tried summarily because, okay, you were caught on the road. You couldn't explain where you were going. True or false? Are you guilty or not guilty? Actually, the person will say guilty. Then, the person tries summarily and is convicted and sentenced to either a bony or months or to pay a fine. Then, if that person cannot pay a fine that is prescribed or ordered by the court, that person will definitely go to prison. Assuming a poor person who is arrested of moving about, who cannot account for what he was going to do, then that person who cannot afford to pay his bills, the court is saying pay 900,000 or 180,000 for marketing on a pedestrian. That is in Lagos State.
Will you even raise that kind of a money in a year?
Yeah, it baffles me. So the laws are targeted at poor persons to make the poor man suffer for no good reason.
Okay, the aspect of giving law enforcement agencies open check to arrest people the way they want. What do you have to say about that?
Yes, in that, my response to that issue is that I will first of all say the issue of all the criminalizing petty offences, petty. Let me add up petty offences is, to me, is uncalled for. Because, and in fact, it's the reason why our prisons are congested. When you arrest people who are on their normal working move, and you arrest them, you expect them to give you account of some certain things, and if they cannot, you take them there. When you take them to state CID or police station, you instead bring another charge on the FR stating maybe they belong to unlawful society and order, and then the court that is holding charge will refuse to take the plea of the accused person because the court doesn't have jurisdiction to try the person.
Yeah.
So the effect of it is that if we are 100 or if the accused persons are 100, they will all be taken to prison.
That's if some are not bailed at the police station.
At the police station.
Okay.
To make things worse. Even at the police station, you know, we normally go there. You know what is obtainable. In theory, bail is free, but when you go there, bail is not practically free. Where you will be asked to bring 140,000 naira and you cannot afford.
Okay, let's not digress from our discussion for today. Let's still maintain under petty offences. Okay, you actually led me to my next question.
I was just trying to delve into the situation where this kind of petty offences, the effect.
Okay, you brought me to my supposed next question, but I think you've answered it correctly because I wanted to ask you the connection petty offences have with prison congestion. Okay, and you've explained that because the police, let me not just use the police, the law enforcement agencies, because I know that some states have developed task force that enforce a certain kind of law that is in place in the state. So these law enforcement agencies, both federal and statewide, they get the liberty to arrest people any way they want, in any manner, take them to the stations, and from there they go to court, put them on remand, and then our prison gets to get 3 times more than the number of persons it should house. Because when I was doing some research, I discovered that the Lagos prison, is it Ikoyi or Ikeja prison? One I think one of this name. It's created to have like is it 920 capacity of person, but it houses like 4 times more than the number it had. And here in Benue State, the prison is meant to have 240, and it has close to 1,000 number of persons.
Yeah.
You can imagine people living under this condition, and the people that are subjected to this, they are not just the rich people as we so will know. They are these poor persons who might not even know how to access legal services, who would not know how to call their lawyers, who might not even know their rights, and they are gathered together. And one recent practice I've noticed so far, like whenever you go to court, that whenever they bring in new FIR, the most, as in, what you hear most often is belonging to an unlawful society. They'll just arrest people at random, take them to court, and charge them for belonging to unlawful society. And when you check and when you ask questions, even they themselves knows fully well that that is not the right thing to do. But let's come back to petty offences. That leads me to my next question. Nigeria as a state, as a country, we've not really done well when it comes to petty offences. What do you have to say with the international organization, the international body, the whole country as a whole? What do they have to say about petty offences? What do they have to say about petty offences? Are they in support of this petty offences? Because I want to believe that it's not just Nigeria that have these petty offences in our laws. So what do they have to say about these petty offences? What is their position about petty offences?
Yes, petty offences at the international level, they are not in support of petty offences existing in our criminal laws. The example of that is the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. The African Commission on Human and People's Rights, in fact, they have made a declaration on that issue, declassifying and decriminalizing petty offences and urging on all countries across Africa,
Okay,
member countries,
okay,
which Nigeria is one among, to decriminalize and then declassify petty offences in their criminal laws.
Okay, and
the most recent one they signed officially was in 2018.
Okay, that brings me the African Charter on People and Human Rights. When I was doing some certain research, it seems like I love researching. But when I was doing some certain research, I came across a statement that petty offences they actually violate human rights in one way or the other. They violate human rights. That is one, and then they are against this African Charter on People and Human Rights, like Article 3, 4, 5 specifically. I think it violates it, and there's need for countries, not excluding Nigeria, to declassify and decriminalize petty offences in their local laws.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with you, and to add further to that, the reaction of the international organization is very, very positive. And the Court of Justice, let me say the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice, in fact, has already shown its willingness and readiness to fight the issue of petty offences in our country. And in fact, it awarded at one point in time, the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice awarded heavy damages against the Nigerian government for the unlawful arrest of 3 women who were deemed as prostitutes. They were not actually prostitutes, they were deemed. So the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice awarded heavy damages against the Nigerian government. So you see the willingness of the court at the international level that this issue of petty offences petty offences are not supposed to be in our criminal justice laws.
Okay, and from my own research and understanding, some countries have actually taken a step. They are in the process of decriminalizing petty offenses, like South Africa, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Ghana. You can imagine when these countries are a step ahead Nigeria. When Nigeria, we are supposed to be the giant of Africa. So there's need for us to really stand up and say yes, we are the giant of Africa, and take a step and always move ahead of some countries that are supposed to take precedence from us. Rather, we are the ones taking precedence from them. But that's by the way. By Monday, please, I want to find out your position on petty offenses. What do you think is the way forward? What do you advise the Nigerian government to do? What do you advise the Nigerian government to do when it comes to petty offenses?
Yes, first and foremost, this fight for declassifying, decriminalizing petty offences in Nigeria, we can not leave it only for the government to do it. It's our fight. So we call on uh, civil society groups, we call on special rapporteur for policy and other communities to come together to fight so that our laws, our criminal laws, will be repealed.
Okay, when and you say fight, that it's not actually physical fight.
No, not physical fight. Okay. When you're missing fight in that context, you know. So we come together as one body and then review these laws so that we fit into the position where our other countries too are. Because to me, I see no meaning to respect to petty offences existing in our criminal laws.
Okay, for me, I have this message for Nigeria. Our criminal justice system, it's really a shambles. Let me put it like that, because we have so many things bothering the criminal justice system, and I think petty offences shouldn't be one of it. We have enough problems ranging from the lackadaisical attitude of both lawyers and judges, the law enforcement agencies, and the way they handle things. And for us not to forget, our criminal justice system was passed down to us by our colonial masters. And so far so good. If you go back to their laws, these things don't exist anymore. But we still have them in our laws. So please, let's say no to petty offences. Let's stand up, a call to all lawyers specifically, because I wonder how you feel if your client calls you and tell you I was arrested for vagabond. It sounds somehow. To all lawyers, to all state actors, to stand up and say no to petty offences. If our legislatures cannot decriminalize petty offences, they should declassify it. At least, even if they still want it to remain in our criminal justice system, let them put ingredients in it, which I think is very impossible. So there's a call to all of us. Let's stand up, say no to petty offences. If you start talking now, then things will get better tomorrow. And I hope this ends before these our laws moves to its 20th birthday, which I think will be coming up very soon. Thank you very much for joining us. We're so happy. We'll entertain your presentations, your views on petty offences, your suggestions on how things should be done and a step forward, and how we can take a step forward, and your questions, most especially questions. We will entertain your questions and prompt answers will be given, and your contribution, because we are not an island of knowledge, so we really want to hear from you. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you next Thursday. Thank you.